Hi there Makeup Addicts, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Sarah, welcome, and today we are going to be doing a full first impressions review of the NATASHA DENONA Mini Glam palette. If you're new here and you haven't seen one of my full first impression reviews before, what we're going to do is we're going to unbox this palette. I will then do 3 sets of swatches. First of all, I will do a finger swatch. Second of all, I will do a packing brush swatch, eyeshadow swatch. And third of all, I will do a blending brush swatch. So plenty of swatches this way to come. And then once we've done that, I'll do a few eyeshadow looks. I normally do 3. I do wonder how creative I can be with just 5 shades, but I'll give it a go and see if I can get 3 looks out of this. So I bought this in the Black Friday sales and I bought it from Look Fantastic, whatever sale they had on at the time, because that was a while ago now. We're filming this on the 14th of December, so this has taken quite a while to get here. I paid £17.60 for this, which I think these normally retail for about £25, so that felt like a bit of a bargain to me. And having recently got the Sunset palette, which I'll put the review of up here if you're interested, I really love the formula, so I thought I'd give another one a go, and I thought what a great way to dabble some more in the NATASHA DENONA world than in these little mini palettes. So let's open her up. It's quite heavy, I must admit. For a tiny little palette, it's got quite a bit of weight to it, and the shades are lovely. I must admit, on the monitor it's coming up a little bit paler than it is in person. This is a much deeper gold than it's coming up on camera, and this is just a tad darker than it's showing up here. The rest of it looks okay, but it's a lovely little palette. Is that magnet? Oh, yep, it's magnetized. However, the lid doesn't clip over the bottom, it just shuts firmly on it. Very is that magnetised? I don't think it is magnetised. I just think it's got quite a stiff hinge, which is a good thing. I just wonder how that will fare over time. So yeah, I suppose that's all there is to say about this. The shades are Golden Flesh, Harlow, Anjo, Seed and Fair. They are the shades running this way across. So I suppose without further ado, we should get into some swatching. So these are pretty nice. The shimmer shades spread so easily. This one, and this one. They are really, really nice shades there. Feel very buttery on the finger when you're swatching them. The 2 mattes do feel buttery when you swatch them, but then I find that this one looks a little bit patchy. Could have just been me and the way I swatched it. This one looks alright. But yeah, this one just has a little bit of patchiness in the middle. But we all know that this is not how we wear eyeshadows, so let's crack on and do some brush swatches. As with every full first impressions review on this channel, I'm going to do 2 different types of brush swatches. First of all, I will do a MAC 239 brush swatch. This is a shader brush, packs on eyeshadow really nicely. Then I will do a MAC 221 fluffy blending brush swatch. Between each swatch, I will wipe off the colour with my little colour swatcher here, and I will also lay down a primer on my arm. I am using this NYX HD Studio Photogenic. So overall, I think these have performed far better than the finger swatches did across absolutely every single one of them. I feel like these 5 here, which were our packing brush swatches, all have paid off incredibly well. And if this is the way that they behave on a brush, I mean, who's going to argue with that? They're fantastic. And then we move on to the blending swatches, and these also look absolutely amazing. The only thing I would say is that, particularly with this shade, I reckon that fallout is going to be a real thing. You probably can't see it, but there is fallout basically all over my wrist here, just from this shade. It's not like that you would put this eyeshadow on every day with a blending brush, even though you'd get a reasonable payoff. We all know that this is far more likely to be the way that you would put an eyeshadow like this on with a packing brush, not using, unless you were going to use your finger, but certainly not with a blending brush, even though if you did, it's pretty good payoff. All in all, I feel like these swatch incredibly well, regardless of the way that you do it. And what I didn't really see in the palette, but I do see on my arm, is this middle shade here. It looks pretty grey when you're looking at it, but actually when you put it on, it's got a real green reflect in it. It makes it feel really khaki, and all of a sudden makes you understand how you could do a slightly different eye look with this. So I'm quite excited to use that. So I suppose what we should do now is we should crack on and actually do some of those eyeshadow looks. I'll see you in a minute. And that is where my camera ran out of battery. How embarrassing. And do you know what? That's actually the third battery it's gone through on this video. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the cold. But either way, you can kind of understand where that look was going. Spotlight eye, I was nearly done. Never mind. But what do I think about this palette? To be fair, I don't have a whole load of negative to say about this palette at all. I think the unit itself is a really great size. I mean, if you were going away somewhere for a weekend or a short holiday, this would just slip into your makeup case, taking up hardly any room. I think it's a really great setup in these minis, having 2 mattes and 3 shimmers, and the mattes being corresponding, and a dark and a pale shade, so you can really go for the depth with the matte shades and then use the shimmer shades as like the feature. With this being on sale, my average pan price was about just over £3, I think. And would I pay £3 for a NATASHA DENONA pan single? Absolutely I would. So in terms of value, I actually think you do okay for your money. Yes, the pans are smaller, I completely appreciate that, but you're talking to someone here who is yet to ever hit pan properly and run out of an eyeshadow. So the fact that I will ever run out of these eludes me a little bit because, you know, it's never happened before. So that doesn't really bother me. One thing I find really bizarre is that on the actual box for the palette, this deep brown shade looks purple. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not me. It comes up on camera as a purple. It's really bizarre, but actually it is brown. Though I would say in all of the marketing and pictures of this palette, that brown looks a lot darker, and I don't really think it is unless you layer it and layer it and layer it to get to a really deep brown. Not the end of the world, and actually for me it makes it a little bit more accessible because I find punchy dark shades quite hard to work with. Speaking of which, if there is a shade which is slightly more difficult in this palette than the others, then it is definitely that dark brown. But you know, if you know it's coming, you can just learn to deal with it. I really felt that I just had to dab it on instead of any sort of swirling and swishing motion. But if you know that, then that's totally fine. But other than that, do you know what? I really like this, and this is going to become pretty much my staple for going away because it's definitely my sort of colour story. And that's it from me today. I hope you're having a wonderful festive season wherever you are in the world. Don't forget to hit like if you liked this video, and go ahead and subscribe to be in with a chance of winning when it comes to the 500 subscriber giveaway. Have a fantastic time wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.